Hey guys, thanks for joining me for another Honkai Star Rail video, and today we're going to do the ultimate character building guide for Honkai Star Rail. Now, on my channel, if you look back, some of you have seen these, some of you maybe not, but I used to make like individual character guides to tell you like how to build specific characters in the game. Well, what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make a guide that will be for beginners or anybody playing Star Rail on how to build any character in the game, even ones that haven't come out yet. And the reason why I'm able to do this is because MiHoYo has within the game basically put character guides in it that are actually really good. I've played games where they will give you suggestions in game, but it's never like the optimal way to build. But from what I can tell, these builds are very optimal. It's what I've been researching online, and it's very similar to like what my guides look like online. So this, I think, is actually the last character guide I'm going to make for Star Rail, because you shouldn't need to watch any more YouTube videos other than if you want like extra explanation and maybe seeing gameplay and things like that. But in terms of the tools they've given you within the game, you're going to be able to build any character to a very optimal way, and it even helps with team building, right? Which is really good. So I'm going to start by taking this from a very beginner perspective and just explain what are the pieces you need to build a character. And I'm going to show you the really great in-game tool that they've given us. And I'll go through like a couple of characters and show you a guide on how to build them. And basically, as long as you can follow this guide, you can look up any character you want and you can instantly build them, right? So when we look at a character, some things you're going to want to look at is the light cone. That's basically like the weapon they have equipped. So you want to know which light cone to give them. Characters will have traces. Generally, I just max these out like all the way around, but I know some people don't like to do that. So there are certain ones that like you don't have to go 10 out of 10. So you could decide certain ones that you want to. So what the in-game guides will give you, or what traditional character guides will say, is which traces you should prioritize. So that's something to know if you're not going to max out all the traces, to know which ones to prioritize. You have your relics and your planner ornaments. These are probably the most important part of building a character, because there are different stats associated with these, and you need to know which stats to go for, and you need to know which set to get for like the main effect of the set. So we'll talk about that. Eidolons doesn't really matter as well. So yeah, that's pretty much all the main pieces. And then the last piece is how to team build. So like what other characters should you put on a team with them, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to use the in-game character guide function. So if you go to your telephone tool in the game and you get to this screen here, they've added a new tab in here called Game Tools. So if you click on Game Tools, you get this really awesome page right here. I saw this and my jaw dropped. I'm like, my God, I'm never going to have to make a character guide again, but I am going to make a video and show you guys how to use this, right? So here at the top, you can click any character in the game, and it might even be ones, yeah, you can click on characters you don't own, right? It literally will log every single character. Like I don't own Kafka, and I can get Kafka's guide here. And they built this guide in the game so well, because it literally looks similar to like online guides content creators have been putting out. So that tells you that MiHoYo is really into what the community's doing, and they're just making things so much easier for the player base that I don't have to look to an outside source on how to build a character. I can just find this information in game, right? So let's look at Firefly as an example here, right? So you can see right here in the guide, what's cool too is they kind of score you on how well built your character is. So they will actually like tell you like, hey, you need to improve this stat for this character, or you got to work on something right here on this character, right? So for relics here on Firefly, they're telling you, you can click right here. So the best set is this Iron Cavalry set, along with the planner ornament, which is the Forge of Kalpanigi set, or whatever this is called. It's basically the two new ones that just came out. But that's pretty much what people are recommending online. These are the two best sets. They will give you alternate sets, right? Like you could run a speed set if you want to. You could run the Kingdom of Banditry set, which is a break effect set, which makes a lot of sense, right? They tell you on each relic or ornament piece what stat to prioritize, right? So on the relics, the body and the feet have random main stats. So for example, on Firefly, on the feet, you want speed, and on the body, you want attack percentage. And then on the planner ornaments, those all have random stats. So on the orb, you want attack percent, and on the rope, you want break effect. That's really good to know, because now it tells you right here, it's like, okay, I'm going to farm this relic set, and then I'm looking for these stats on these pieces, right? It's so good. Then they tell you the light cones. They're pretty much always going to tell you the 5-star light cone on that character's banner is the best one because they design it for that character. So you don't really need a guide to tell you that, but it's going to be correct. That's what you want. But if you're not willing to summon for it, they show you great alternate ones. This is the 5-star free-to-play Destruction Light Cone, which most people online have been recommending for Firefly. It's what I'm currently using on Firefly, right? Here's your budget 4-star option if you want to use that. So the game right here is literally telling you everything. They even give you the best team. And guess what? Down here in the bottom left, it says team lineup. They have Ron May, the Harmony Trailblazer, and they have Gallagher. That is literally the exact team everybody online is talking about using with her. So like within the game, they have recommended like a perfect team. And then even within that team lineup, you can see a couple of really, really small pictures in there. They're recommending alternate characters. So like Asta and Pela, those are characters you could use. And they're telling you it's like right underneath Ron Mai's head. So instead of Ron Mai, they are telling you you could put Asta or Pela there. And underneath Gallagher's head, they are telling you you could put Asta or Pela there. So they're giving you flexibility on the best teams to use. It's pretty dang awesome. And then for key stats, these are the main stats you want to focus on for a character. So as you're building your ornaments and your relics, those all get random substats. So this is where you're really grinding and trying to find the right substats. And they're telling you break effect and speed are really important stats on Firefly. And not only are they telling you they're the best stats, but they're telling you what percentages you should aim for. So you want to try to get Firefly's break effect over 240%. You want to try to get her speed above 150. That's great because to me, this is even better because when I looked up online guides, they didn't have necessarily that part of it. And I like that idea that I know exactly what numbers I want to aim for to get the best Firefly, right? Here are the traces. So they tell you which ones to prioritize. So prioritize the ultimate, then the skill, then the talent, then the basic attack, right? So that's the order that you should kind of prioritize. You obviously want to get all of the main trace upgrades done. So it shows you that there. You can even do material calculations. So if you want to prep for a character or like maybe you pulled a character, you want to get all the materials. I mean, you can go in here. It tells you everything you need to fully max out a character so that you can plan and prepare for that character. How much money do I need? How much of these grindable items do I need, right? So it's telling you right there everything that you need for that, which is pretty dang cool, right? Here they talk a little bit more about the light cones. And so what they're doing down here on the bottom, they're looking at what I have equipped and telling me if it's good or not. So you can see like these check marks at the top. My level is good and my light cones are good. But there's something it doesn't like about my traces and something that I need to improve on my relics. I know what I need to improve on my traces. It's that all of mine are at level 8. The reason why mine aren't at 10 yet is because I need the material from the weekly boss, but I used all my weekly boss attempts before I got Firefly. So I have to wait until tomorrow. I'm recording this on a Sunday, so I have to wait till Monday to grind the boss again. So once I get my traces maxed out, that'll get checked off. And then on Relics, what's really cool down here, I love this. So I'm going to go down a little bit. So down here, it shows all of the Relic stuff, but then they show you stats from Relics, right? And they're telling me based on recommendations how I'm doing on each stat. So HP, attack percent, and speed. And they're showing me at the top, this is my helmet, my gloves, my body, and my feet. That's what the top 4 are. You can see on the left, it shows you exactly what it's looking at. Those are all good. Now it's looking at my orb, right? And on mine, I did fire damage boost instead of attack percent. So I didn't get a check for that. They want me to put attack percent there. So later on, if I can get an attack percent one, I will switch it. The reason mine is fire damage boost is because I feel like fire damage is good on Firefly because she's always doing fire damage. But I was actually able to get a pretty good fire damage boost with break effect on it. I do have attack percent orbs, but they don't have good break effect. So that's where you can, like, you don't have to follow this to a T. As you get your player brain working and knowledge of the game, you can obviously stray from this. But from a beginner standpoint, not only is this a great guide to follow, but it's for the most part an optimal guide to follow. And once again, you can make your own tweaks as you familiarize yourself with the game. And on the rope, they're telling you, you want break effect? I've got break effect. They're like, check, you're good, right? So they're telling you here, it is recommended to adjust the relics you are equipped with according to the above main stats in yellow. And it shows me I need attack percent on my orb, right? So this is so cool. And then here you go down, in detail now, it's showing me the recommended team, and you have a little mini build guide for each character. So if I want a quick snapshot on how do I build Gallagher, how do I build Trailblazer, how do I build Ron May, I can look at that. Or I could go up to the top and I could click on any of those characters and it will show me up there how to build them, right? So like I could go, well, this is the physical Trailblazer, right? But I could just click, like, there's Trailblazer. Let's look at Akron. This is a character I've worked really hard on that I've built, right? So I can go to Akron. Look at this. Relics are right here. It's got everything here that I want. So I can go down and it's telling me recommended team lineup is Silverwolf, Pela, and Gallagher. Now my team lineup's a little bit different than that, but it's going to depend. Like if they're doing this based on a low dupe Akron, because you need 2 Nihility characters on the team. But you could definitely do other builds there, right? So you can get creative with your character builds. But like I can go down here and once again, on my feet, I have speed boots on her, but they want me to have attack %. So they think I need to make an improvement there. So that's something maybe I'll grind out more boots and maybe I'll go attack % boots, but speed is also good on the boots, right? So this thing isn't like 100% like verbatim, you have to always follow it. But like I said, if you follow what they recommend on here, your character build will be very good. And then that's maybe where if you feel like you need to do additional research to learn more about a character and other builds, then you can do that. But I mean, this guide is like super, super spot on. So that's pretty much it, you guys. Like if you want to know how to like optimally build characters, go into here. You're going to get your team builds. You're going to get, you know, your relic builds, everything you need all right here. And I think this is a great, fantastic guide. I've gone and looked through several of my characters and they've been pretty spot on, like with how I've built them, right? Like my Sela, like, yep, that's the relics that I have on her. You know, looking at like light cones and everything, like that's how I have her built. Like it's pretty good. And actually Sela I've earned all check marks on, so I'm pretty good with that. Team lineup for Sela, sure. Like, so some characters are going to be really flexible on team builds, right? Especially if you're looking at like a support character, because they're just going to be a part of any team. So, I mean, don't take the team lineups always so literally either, depending on the character, although they were really spot on with Firefly. But like, let's say I go to like a support character. So let's say I look at Bailu, right? Bailu isn't really a character you build a team around. So when I go to team lineup, like you can just pretty much consider that random. Like, doesn't really matter. Bailu's pretty much just a part of something you want on most teams, which is some type of sustained character, right? So yeah, I think this guide was really good. Actually, a character I want to check out, I'll do it live with you. I'm going to look at Himiko and see if they've updated her to the newest relic set. They have not, and I don't know. I'll have to check online if people are recommending it. That's the one thing you might have to still like maybe look online for, is like when a new relic set comes out, because one of the new relic sets, like the other one that came out with Fireflies, I think would be really good for Himiko, but they're still recommending the Grand Duke set, which is what she was recommended before the new ones came out. So that's the only thing you may have to look at is older characters. Are they going to always recommend the newest sets or not with them? So anyways, guys, let me know if this guide helps. I think this is fantastic that this is just like in-game. It's absolutely incredible. If you still think there's a benefit to me doing individual guides, let me know. But I feel like if you understand how to use this, like you honestly, like you're not going to need to watch a lot of guides online. Like they did such a good job putting it in game. So let me know if you think this helps. Let me know what you think. Thanks for watching. We'll catch y'all on the next one.